Instead of trying to purchase the unobtainable Vacheron Constantin Historique 222, you can save yourself a whopping $88,000 with this homage by Pagani instead. What's up everybody, welcome back to God Tier Watches, and my name is Koda. So if this is your first time watching, here we do top 10s, reviews, and also watch builds occasionally. So if that's something you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and follow along the journey with me. Today we're reviewing a Pagani design. This is the PD-YS020. That's a handful, I know. But this is a Historique 222 homage that I'll be reviewing. So this is an interesting piece because it's not entirely just a one-to-one copy. So let's talk about this watch today. Alrighty everyone, this is the Pagani design watch box that it comes with. They haven't changed this box design in years. I've reviewed their first piece when I was like 2 years ago, I think now. So yep, you got that pink felt kind of feeling to the case here. Within the case, you do get yourself a cloth here and the watch itself. You do get some manuals and stuff, but we don't need any of that today. So let's look at this watch. Oh yes, that looks sick, guys. What are your guys' first thoughts on this design? It looks very, very nice with the light play, I'll tell you that for sure. Let's talk about the dimensions of this guy because this is something that I think a lot of people are interested in. Now this watch is quite nice, coming in at a case diameter of 37mm, which is what you'd see in like your vintage style watches. And in terms of its weight, it's 109 grams with all the links. So mine would be very light compared to the 109 that it's suggesting. 42 millimeters of lug to lug here, which is quite short again with a watch that is also small in diameter. A 25mm lug to lug, but it tapers down all the way down to 18 here. It's almost like this PRX style kind of bracelet, just without the taper, obviously, with the PRX being just a consistent length in its bracelet. Another great thing about this watch is look how thin this watch is. This is unreal. It's like paper thin. 7mm with the case. That's insane. And finally, it's got a water resistance of 100 meters as they claim here on their website. Let's talk about the case finish because this is something I think is unreal. For the price performance ratio, Pagani design has always hit the spot. They come in with the 316L stainless steel case with a flat sapphire crystal, no AR coating that's been claimed here. And what's insane about this watch, like I mentioned, is just how thin this watch is. You can wear this under the cuff, no problem. And this 37mm case diameter makes this a perfect fitting for really any size wrist, especially for those smaller wrist sizes. So my skinny 6.25 inch wrist appreciates this vintage sizing. The bezel here homages quite like the Vacheron Constantin Historique 222, and it's just elegant to say the least. It's not like a turning bezel, it's a fixed bezel here. And pretty much everything on the front of this watch, except for the edge of the bezel just circling around here, is all vertical brushing. And nice and fine brushing overall, and leaves this edge to really stand out with the polishing, giving a nice light play. On the edge of the case as well, you'll notice a thin strip of polishing there, followed by just the brushed finishing on the side here. So yeah, very nice looking here. Coming over to the side of the watch where the crown is located, the crown here at the front is polished with a etched Pagani design logo there. And it follows this theme of a thin, simple look, which I really like. And despite how small this crown is, it's actually really easy to grip onto. And yeah, I've had no problems with it. And coming to the back of the case here, we got a stainless steel case back that holds the thin movement in place. And it's obviously signed there with the Pagani logo saying it's 100 meters of water resistance and the stainless steel case back mentioned here. The thin movement that's encased in this watch is none other than the Japanese quartz. It's a TMI Seiko Epson family line of VJ21. It's got an accuracy of plus or minus 20 seconds a month. So yeah, very accurate, it being a quartz. So interesting choice of movement, I guess, because we often see like Swiss Rondas, some Yodas, but we have a lesser known Seiko quartz movement used in here. So yeah, very interesting. But I think they've just chosen a movement like this because they really needed to get it thin here. So which they've done very well. Now what I really like about this watch is this bracelet and clasp. And because it's not a one-to-one copy of the Historique 222. It's almost like as if the PRX and the Historique 222 had a baby and this is the result of it. I think the light play on this is insane. Just look at that, just the way it articulates with the light. Oh, that's so cool. Very much an elegant and clean design. I like how it's basically continues this fine brushing on the front of the bracelet here. But if you look on the edges at the front of each link, it's got this nice high polishing, which kind of gives it glam to this watch overall and just looks elegant. One important thing I need to mention with this bracelet though is this is all the links removed, and this is for my fitting of a 6.25 inch wrist. Now, if you have a smaller wrist than me, I've got unfortunate news, and I don't think this is something I'd recommend because the way this bracelet is made, it just simply doesn't allow any smaller wrist to be fitted just because of how fixed this bracelet feels. Like, that ain't moving anywhere. So, no jingle jangle here. I literally just dropped it, but yeah, no jingle jangle here. Nothing to be moved. It's like a banglet, so yeah, it won't move any smaller than that. So yeah, consider that if you have a smaller wrist, because yeah, I've had to take all the links just for it to fit my wrist here. The V2 version of this model has 2 extra links that is provided at the end of the watches here, but I've had to take mine just because, yeah, I have very small wrists, unfortunately. But if you have a bigger wrist than me, you should find yourself a good fitting with it, despite only having no micro adjust because it's a butterfly clasp with this one. Use the half links and you should be good to go. And one last minor detail I didn't see earlier is this etched Pagani design logo. Very minimal, no text. I like that a lot. Finally, let's talk about the dial, the handset, and the lume of this watch. This dial, to say the least, is just a clean and simple design. I like how the only text written on the dial is this sapphire at the 6 o'clock position. And there's no big logo placements. I like the metal logo that they put on here instead of just being painted or just imprinted on. So it gives it a bit of depth with the whole watch as well. This is the black dial version, but you do have an option of choosing like a white one and a blue one, and also just a gold bracelet and case option for those who like a gold watch instead. But I personally prefer just something silver. I like to keep it simple for my end. On each of the 5-minute indices, you've got these nice raised metal batons, which I really like here. It gives it a bit of depth again with the logo and just varying in height. I'm also happy to say, I'm not sure if it'll show in the camera just depending on what angle I'm showing this, but the seconds hand do hit the indices and the markers properly and precisely. So yeah, that's a very good thing because this is a quartz that only takes 1 time per second. But overall, they kept this nice consistent theme of keeping it simple, keeping it classy and just elegant in general, in which you get a nice looking piece overall. So yeah, very nicely done from Pagani. They've always done really well with just the design aspect of this watch, but the thing that they aren't doing too well on is something called the lume. They may not be the best, so let's see if this Pagani can change my mind and provides a different story to this lume and end its journey and possibly becoming the king of budget watches again. As you can see from this Lume test, it starts off strong like Pagani and all the watches do, but as we go through the time lapse again, yeah, I don't think they've changed much, honestly. I think they have still remained the same with their Lume, which is a bit disappointing. Over the past 2-3 years of me knowing Pagani and just owning some of their watches as well, I'd expect it to be a bit better and a bit more competitive. But the lume itself, it's okay. It does the job, just the fact that it has lume, but I wouldn't rely on it again. So don't make this the reason for you to buy this watch. The lume itself is definitely not the selling point. So luckily this watch is safe because of how good the materials and other parts of this watch and just the overall design of this watch. So I'll let this one slide, but yeah, lume, no go, no go. Lume was a bit of an unfortunate story with Pagani again, but all that's really left to do now is none other than the wrist shots. Let's roll the clip. What did you guys personally think of this watch? I think this watch is quite nice. It's nice and thin. It's got a nice design, but just the lume that is the letdown, really. I love how this watch isn't just a one-on-one copy and it's actually homage. And it's just nice, clean, simple, and elegant. So if that's something you're interested in, you could definitely dress this watch down and make it look elegant and classy. It's definitely more of a dressier piece for sure. So yeah, with that being said, if you do want to pick this watch up, I have linked it in the description for you guys to pick up. Thank you for watching God Tier Watchers. My name is Koda, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night wherever you guys are from, and I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.